Good morning, everybody, and welcome to welcome to Hiroshima, day one, and only real day we have in Hiroshima. We've got half a day tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. We are wandering around as many sites as we can today, kind of taking a bit of a walking tour. There's a moat, and there's also a moat, and there's a Neil.
This is easy to get across though.
Yeah. Not very good defences. We're heading to Hiroshima Castle now. The bugs so loud. Oh, you learned things about the bugs?
Yeah, the bugs, I can't remember their name now.
Something.
Insert it here. Damn it, Neil, you've made me edit more.
You're editing this one.
Oh, damn it. Basically, these bugs, they have a 17-year life cycle. So when they come out of the ground, which is obviously this summer, they make this noise, they mate, they die, they lay eggs in the ground, and the eggs will grow to adult size underground, and it takes 17 years to get to adult size, and then they come out, do it all over again.
So you can forgive them for being so loud. It's just kind of slightly disrupting for the vlog, but that's okay. You carry on, little bugs or big bugs.
That's two boobs.
I was just doing a nice panning shot of the ruins of the castle. And what did you say?
Yeah, she's got boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. These are the ruins of the Hiroshima Imperial Military Headquarters around the Sino-Japanese War. That's when a lot of the forces got pushed west. So Hiroshima Castle, it being like a fortified moat already, seemed like the perfect spot. The Meiji Emperor stayed in Hiroshima more than 7 months from September 15, 1894 to April 27th of the following year. Thereafter, the building was preserved as a historical monument but was later destroyed in an atomic bombing. We're now heading towards the actual castle, which isn't ruins. I think these are the main ruins that are on the actual island. The rest of it has been restored and rebuilt. We like stamps, don't we?
Yeah, we don't like stamps. That's
okay. Yay! This museum seems to go into not only Hiroshima Castle, but castles in general. And it states that powerful samurai initially built manors called yakuta. And those were later then developed into what castles were. They were either up in the mountains, up on low hills, or up along plains. And then it also was split between whether they were a city castle or if they were more of a kind of a defensive root castle. You've got defensive things just like in Hemiji Castle from there. Also, they've got a terrifying samurai. Some badass samurai over there. This part is looking at the life inside and outside of the castle in the kind of feudal area. The compartments, it's like we've seen in the other castles. And here we are at the top. Just looking out over Hiroshima. On the inside it's quite difficult to kind of imagine it as a castle because it's just kind of very much a museum. But that's mainly because after they rebuilt it in the 50s, they wouldn't have been able to recreate what would have happened or what it was like inside. They just created what it looked like outside. And it's just insane and how devastating the power of the atomic bomb actually was on this castle. Just, it flattened it completely. This castle lasted for hundreds of years, standing on its own, but destroyed in one moment. We're going that way now. Yeah. This is the Hiroshima Goku Shrine, which is a Shinto shrine built in the 1800s at the start of the Meiji period to honour those who had died in the war to restore the Meiji period. This one in particular was rebuilt in 1956 after the original one was destroyed in 1945. All Goku shrines enshrine those who died in war, and this one includes those who died in 1955. Back over the moat. This storming castle things is easy.
Yeah, we stormed so many castles.
Yeah, in our mild-mannered English way of saying sumimasen and arigato and taking our shoes off before we enter.
Being too hot.
And being very hot. These are some of the castle walls that have been restored since. I don't think I'll ever get used to seeing Japanese architecture and not being blown away by how cool it looks. And here's the atomic dome. It was the old industrial prefecture of Hiroshima until on the 6th of August in 1945, the atomic bomb hit directly above it. They say it was because of the vertical structure of the actual building it survived, and also its position being directly below the blast. When the force of the blast went horizontally, it remained relatively unharmed despite everybody inside being killed almost instantly. There were many people who wanted the whole thing taken down in the aftermath when they were rebuilding the city, but a lot of people called for it to maintain as a reminder and a memorial for the atomic bomb. It's harrowing and it's upsetting, but it's how I look, or it's a way in which I look at history when I study it. It's happened and there's nothing we can change about it. We can be sad and we can grow and remember from it, and we learn from it. And it's such a cliche that we learn from our past mistakes, but this is one of the biggest examples. Since this, another nuclear weapon has not been discharged in an act of war, and that, I think, is an achievement in itself, whether it being nuclear deterrence and whether it being the proliferation has extenuated the nuclear taboo and stuff like that. This is an example of something that humanity didn't really expect them. Like, war is constantly bettering their other ways of killing each other, and this was kind of the last straw, it seems. And it's a feat in itself that we found the last thing that we were willing to do and now therefore not willing to do again. And I think it is definitely something that we shouldn't do again. It is too horrific and too much of a last straw that it should never come to this again. We're now on the T-shaped bridge, which was the actual mark. It was their kind of aim for their target for when they flew over, but it's all been rebuilt, and now we're going to head to the Peace Park and the museum. It's a bad thing for me to say this is a part of history I enjoy, and it's not an enjoyment, it's a fascination. It's such a hot topic and it's such an interesting question, because it not only looks at warfare and the way wars are fought, but it also looks at the human psyche and the way in which that has all changed since 1945, and the way in which we treat each other as countries and as people now. And I love that. I love the differing, or how war changes cultures, and yeah, that's the kind of history I'm interested in. It's a fact. War creates change, and that is what's most fascinating about history, is what changes rather than what stays the same. This statue is a remembrance of peace, but the thousands of cranes that are placed here every day, they get thousands and thousands of them, don't they? Yeah. And it's from the story of a girl, or it's the Japanese tradition of folding 1,000 cranes to kind of
good luck.
For good luck, or to kind of answer a prayer, or kind of something like that, or kind of follows on from the story of a girl who was sick from the bomb and the atomic or the radiation afterwards. She folded 1,000 cranes, and although she didn't survive from it, it's a tradition that kind of carries on as a remembrance from it. So there's all of these thousands and thousands of cranes, all donated, and they're brought over and put in and then replaced, and just so many of them. All just a symbol to maintain peace. They've got a bunch of newspapers that tell the story of the Second World War and the Japanese involvement, which I think is probably the best way of kind of explaining it all, is as it happened and what the people were being told or what was being said. The headline says, "Who could forget that flash?" Now we're in the Peace Museum. I'm not sure how much I can record, but let's go find some stuff out. Obama came to visit Hiroshima. It's like I was saying earlier, it's be thankful that we live in a time where peace is what we are striving and what we are living in. It's a difficult topic, but it's important to look at, and that's how I'm going to leave it there. We're going to spend the rest of the day wandering through Hiroshima. I still need to get a bunch of souvenirs and things that I want to kind of, or some goodies that I call, or stuff. I can't word, it's hot, I'm tired, we just had lots of good food, and we're gonna go wander and get some shop and shoes and, not shoes, what? He's looking at me weirdly. It started well.
It did.
Yeah.
And then we came to Japan.
We just went a bit crazy, my feet hurt. Yeah, let's go back to the hotel via some shops maybe.
Okay, let's do that.
I want Pokemon cards.
Okay.
Guess what he's doing? A Pokemon! Oh. I'm in the way. We hear a noise. I'm not sure what it is.
I don't know what it is.
It is way too hot to be dancing like that. Jeez.
Back to the beginning.
That's an adequate reaction. Jeez. Right, and after a small sleep in the, or he had a proper sleep, I had like a nap, in the hotel and some Pokemoning. We are now heading off out to a shrine, can't remember the name of it, but it's got a big Torii arch in the middle of the sea. It's supposed to be pretty, so we're going to go try and catch sunset there and then come back and sleep. Train this!
Train this!
Ferry boat to Miyajima. And the sun seems to be going down just right.
Yeah.
So hopefully by the time we get there, the sun will be going down over the mountains. That will look really pretty. Okay. No! Pushing me out. Ah! Got deer here too. No, they're pretty Pretty relaxed. Okay. This place is most known for the floating gate, which we're going to see in a minute, and hopefully with a bit of a sunset in the background. But it was the most powerful man in Japan during the Heian period, Taria non Kin something. I'm not very good with names, I'm very sorry. He decided that this island would be his family shrine area, and he built this huge shrine that's here. And the whole island is known as Shrine Island, and it's just covered in shrines and shrines, and just because he placed his here, many other people decided that's where I'm going to place mine too. That's where you get prosperity and stuff. So yeah, that's where we are. And this is gorgeous. Just wandering around. Right there.
You can even see it's shaped
and it's
like
yellow
that too.
I think you need to try and take it. Oh, you can't?
Can't reach it.
Because you can reach it when it's low tide. You were good. So that's a big spoon.
Imagine how much rice you could eat with that.
Yes.
Okay. Get razzed. Get it in. Got 6% left on my phone as well. 2, 3.
You're so cute. Yatta!
Yatta!
Look at you.
Oh god.
I'm so proud of you.
It's actually thumping now. Oh no.
Oh no.
The billboard is having problems. What is the Japanese for have you tried turning it off and on again?
That computer error. I think we'll sign off today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a really, really good day. Topped off with Neil getting a far-fetched. So that's good. And that's probably the end of Hiroshima. We will leave it tomorrow on the train on our way back to Tokyo. So yeah.